This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 17th of November. I'm James Spann. One more very cold night. Then we start a warming process tomorrow afternoon. Still watching the late weekend system. Will that bring any severe weather to the state? We'll take a look at that and much more. So let's go to some of the Skycam shots around the network. That's coming from Chehaw State Park. At mid-afternoon, when I grabbed that image, they were at 29.8 degrees. And we ought to be in the 60s here in mid-November. Look at Gulf Shores. Isn't that inviting? That's just gorgeous. But it's cold. They're at 44. Bright sunshine, and looks like 3 people on the whole beach as far as you can see. But, we could be in the middle of that. How about that lake effect snow machine coming off Lake Erie today? That's Lancaster, New York. Just unbelievable. 4 feet of snow, and it's still snowing very heavily. In fact, there's a look at the Buffalo radar. Fairly narrow zone getting that, but man, it's just unrelenting. And the Weather Service in Buffalo indicates that there might be a spot or two with 70 inches of snow from this. And that's about what we get here in 30 years. And they're getting it in one day. Very cold look across the nation. Cross-polar flow, Arctic air in place. Birmingham, 36 at mid-afternoon. Only 32 at Fort Payne and Decatur, 33 at Cullman and Haleyville. And tomorrow morning, it's going to be all over the place. It's a radiational cooling night. The wind goes calm. Colder valleys, mid-teens. Ridgetops, mid-20s. Whatever, it's going to be a hard freeze for everybody. And around the nation, still very cold. But evidence of a little warmth coming up through Texas and the western high plains. And by the end of the week, we'll be up in the low 60s more than likely. Watch warning map, a lot of freeze warnings down south where they've yet to have a freeze over North Florida and South Georgia. And that looks like a hard freeze warning. And up north, lake effect snow warnings continue in obvious places. And you saw what happened up there. Convective outlook, day 5. This is Saturday, a risk of severe weather over southeast Texas. This includes places like College Station, Waco, and Houston, and Lake Charles, Louisiana. And it remains to be seen if we'll have a severe weather threat here. I think South Alabama could. The northern half of the state is somewhat questionable on Sunday. This is the overall rain for the next 5 days. This is valid through Sunday evening through the weekend, suggesting rain amounts of about 1 inch for our part of the state. Heavier totals down south near the Gulf Coast. All right, model fans, the GFS, the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at noon. And you can see how the pattern is finally starting to relax a little bit. The amplitude is decreasing. Down below that, the sky will be sunny tomorrow. And again, we start the day with an average low near 20. Colder pockets will be in the teens, but we warm up nicely, and many locations will be close to 50 tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, mid to upper 50s are likely. We're dry and sunny, and this is Friday, another dry day. And the high Friday afternoon, low 60s are looking likely, a partly sunny sky, moisture west of the state. We've dropped any chance of rain here. Weather looks fine for the high school football playoff games Friday night. And then Saturday, here comes our next wave. This is Saturday at 6 p.m., We think the day will be dry. The college football games in the state, the day game should be okay. We got a surface low that's located near Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, this is Sunday morning at 6 o'clock. That surface low moves to a point just north of Harrison, Arkansas, with a big old batch of rain and storms coming in here. And as we've discussed here, the good thing, this is coming in at a time where typically the air is most stable. And if we can get, higher capes up in here, it just remains to be seen. This is the look at the surface-based Cape, valid Sunday morning at 6 o'clock off the GFS. And really, higher values are west of the state, but around here, there's just not any. And that's going to be the primary limiting factor. It could be this risk will be mainly in South Alabama after midnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. But we'll watch this. We all know it doesn't take a lot of Cape for severe weather to break out with a dynamic system like that. And it's very dynamic. The low-level jet is just screaming. Now the GFS is showing a low-level jet core of 70 knots just north of the state. And that certainly is sufficient for severe weather. And the bulk shear numbers down in the low levels, this is the surface to 925 millibars at 40 knots, and that's very robust. If we had unstable air, this could be a very significant severe weather outbreak, but we don't. So we'll just kind of monitor things as we go. But clearly, rain and storms are likely after midnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. We might get a break Sunday afternoon, and if the sun can break out, we could be well up in the 70s. In fact, the GFS is now printing a high of 79 Sunday. Woo! Wow, how's that for a big swing? But don't get used to it. This is Monday, a cold front coming in with more cold air, and that could kick off a few showers Monday, nothing widespread. And we still could be in the 70s Monday. And then Tuesday, yep, here comes the next cold trough coming in. And down below that, the thickness values plunge. Now, this air is not of the same origin as the air we have now. But that could drop highs into the maybe upper 40s and lows clearly down to freezing. This is Wednesday of next week, and again, this is Thanksgiving Eve. Interesting to note, the GFS is showing a spoke coming through the base of the upper trough, trying to squeeze out some light snow over Tennessee and extreme North Alabama. This is no major storm, but that's a little curiosity factor. But other than that, the nation is pretty quiet on that big travel day, Thanksgiving Eve, but pretty cold over the east, but again, not as cold as it is now. And then this is Thanksgiving Day, November 27th. Weather cool and dry, just very nice. It'd be 50s during the day, 30s during the morning. This is Black Friday. We're still dry. And Iron Bowl Saturday, the 29th. Moisture increasing west of the state. But again, at the moment, that day looks dry and fairly pleasant. Into December we go. This is December 3rd. Big upper low showing up west of the state. Big low underneath that around Shreveport. That looks wet and stormy. But we all know this is in the land of voodoo. Temperatures for the next 15 days. You can see the warmth coming in late this weekend. Highs approaching 70 degrees Sunday and Monday. And again, I think we do get up in the 70s on those days. But then we cool back down with highs dropping back in the low 50s and lows in the low 30s for a Thanksgiving week. Arctic oscillation going positive off the European and the North Atlantic oscillation going positive. And hopefully that'll keep the really brutally cold air out of here at least for a short time. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you can't catch us this evening on the live stream of the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.